Chapter 20. Monday mid-morning. Mac soon left, leaving behind the money for the gardening she'd completed the day before. She cleaned up the kitchen, bundled up the reusable grocery bags she needed, and headed to the grocery store. First on the list was dog food, cat food, and birdseed. With that picked out and the cost carefully calculated, she realized she only had $20 left. She groaned and walked around to see what she could possibly get for $20. She'd forgotten to get some of the money out of the bowl. That was foolish of her. She had her debit card but was really trying to avoid using that. At least that way she'd keep track of it. As she wandered around, she picked up bread, more peanut butter, realizing she should branch out with more choices soon. Cheese would be good. Mac had left the rest of the ingredients for tomorrow's omelets, but she didn't dare get into that later today. Emboldened by what she had learned, she grabbed a dozen eggs, thinking she could at least make something for herself with them, even if a plain cheese omelet. With her purchases paid for and packed up, she headed to the parking lot, placing her bags in the passenger side. As she straightened, she turned to look at a flatbed truck parked right beside her car. The driver glared at her. She glared right back until she realized who it was, and then she gasped. He rolled down his window. "What's the matter? Surprised to see me?" "If you harass me," she said, "I'll get a court order to keep you away from me." "You've caused enough trouble, bitch. You're a thief. You broke into my house, so you're an intruder. You're also the one calling me. What were you doing? Trying to scare me into leaving? For all I know, you're also a peeping Tom. I think you're probably to blame for all the thefts at Nan's retirement home, too." The shock on his face was something to see. "You can't prove I made those calls." "Leave me alone," he snarled. "And I'll leave you alone. You're nothing but trouble, not even I want to go down that road." He turned on the engine, shut the window, and took off, spitting out gravel from under his tires. Like a bat out of hell. Good riddance. She chuckled at the phrase. How many times would anybody ever use that line? It really dates you, Doreen. I think that came from a Meatloaf song. You're not supposed to like any rock songs, remember? She changed her voice to imitate her husband's voice. It has to be classical because that's the only real music. With that idiot intruder loose, regardless of what he had said, she knew she would have nightmares about him returning to her place. But she remembered the security Mac had put in, and grinned. Yeah, let's see what he does when he comes around the next time. She had been sleeping with a fireplace poker, just in case. It wasn't the best weapon, but it had worked well the time before. She drove home, let herself into the house, then put away the groceries before sitting down at the kitchen table, realizing how bored she was. She needed more puzzle pieces to start putting some of this mystery together. She hadn't heard back from Nathan yet. As if on cue, her phone rang. It was Nathan Truswell. "Hi," she said with excitement. "Did you learn anything?" "A couple buddies are going down and taking a look on Tuesday," he said. "Just wondered if you wanted to come enjoy the fun." "Oh my goodness, I would so love to," she said. "What time?" "The guys can all make it that afternoon, so about 2 o'clock or so. They'll go down for a bit, then take a break, change tanks, go back down again. It'll be kind of off and on throughout the day." "Will they start from your place?" "They'll take my boat out a little way, to where we figured the best chances of finding the truck would be." I explained what we think might have happened, and they were definitely on board to check it out. One of them has some experience with search and rescue, and has pulled a vehicle out of the river before, so he has a good idea of what to look for. She was brimming with excitement. By the time she got off the phone, she was dancing around. She just couldn't believe how well this had worked out. "Tuesday," she cried out to Muggs. "Tomorrow afternoon." Now all she had to do was get through the rest of today and tomorrow morning. Wouldn't it be wonderful to settle that problem? She felt bad because once a negative suspicion, like being a pedophile or a murderer, was raised, it never went away. Unfortunately for Henry and his family,